The Xerillian reconnaissance vessel moved slowly through the dark void of space, its sleek metallic surface reflecting the distant stars. Captain Ellerin sat in the command chair, his many eyes scanning the endless emptiness for any sign of movement. He was a cautious leader, known among his people for being meticulous and precise. Suddenly, the sensors picked up an unusual signature approaching from the outer edge of the neutral border zone. It was unlike anything they had encountered before. A human warship, large and heavily armored, moved steadily through space. The ship's energy signature flickered in a pattern the Xerillians could not immediately understand. Ellerin's instincts told him this was more than a simple patrol. The aliens had heard stories about humanity, tales of unpredictability and resilience, but they had never seen a human vessel up close. They decided to initiate a long-range biotechnological scan to learn more about this unknown ship and its crew. The scan began slowly, gathering fragments of data, images, and energy readings. At first, the results seemed normal, but then the data became fragmented. Almost as if the human ship was resisting being scanned, Ellerin frowned as he studied the incomplete images of human crew members moving about their ship. There was something different about them, something that made the Xerillians uneasy. 2 officers stood out in the scans. Commander Brian Cole moved with confidence and precision, his every action calculated. Lieutenant Marissa Hale showed a remarkable ability to adapt to sudden changes, responding instantly to unexpected events. The Xerillians exchanged nervous glances as they tried to interpret these signs. Ellerin ordered a deeper analysis, instructing the technicians to bypass some of the safety protocols that normally prevented detailed readings. The alien crew hesitated, unsure if this was wise, but their captain was firm. As the deeper scans started, the images and data became more detailed. The Xerillians could see the human captain, Jason Ford, at the helm. His neural activity was unusually high, showing signs of enhancements that their technology had not thought possible. The ship's interior layout was revealed in more detail, showing layers of redundant systems and automated defenses. The aliens noticed a section of the ship filled with complex containment units. Within these units, tiny but potent antimatter projectors were stored, capable of causing enormous damage if activated. The Xerillians were shocked. They had never imagined that humans would combine advanced technology with biological enhancements to such a degree. Panic began to ripple through the alien crew. Some of the technicians whispered among themselves, worrying that the humans might detect the scan and respond aggressively. To make matters worse, the human ship contained systems that converted scanning signals into potential triggers for defense routines. The Xerillians had accidentally activated a dormant human combat AI. The AI started probing their systems, learning quickly and predicting possible moves the aliens could make. Ellerin felt a cold sensation crawl across his multiple limbs. He realized that underestimating these humans had been a grave mistake. He ordered immediate countermeasures, attempting to disconnect the scan, but the AI was already adapting. Crew members like Analyst Vorin and Navigator Lyra worked frantically to understand the AI's logic, trying to predict what it might do next. The tension in the control room was thick, and every beep or flicker on the screens felt like a warning. The human ship, seemingly aware of the scan, adjusted its trajectory subtly. The Xerillians were left with a growing fear that they were being watched, and not just observed. Every action they took seemed anticipated. Ellerin realized that this was not just a ship full of soldiers. It was a representation of a species that had evolved through hardship and conflict, learning to survive and adapt at every turn. As the humans had faced countless dangers, their instincts had become finely tuned. Their technology integrated seamlessly with their biology, making them almost unpredictable. The Xerillian crew debated their options. Some argued for retreat, others for attempting communication. The fear of human capabilities weighed heavily on everyone. Ellerin knew that any misstep could result in disaster. The deeper scans continued, revealing more about the human crew's efficiency, their cooperation under pressure, and their silent but constant vigilance. It became clear that the humans expected threats at all times and had prepared themselves for the unimaginable. Ellerin felt a sense of awe mixed with dread. This was not a species that could be easily intimidated or outmaneuvered. Every image of the crew, every fragment of data, seemed to confirm that humans had a resilience beyond anything the Xyrillians had experienced. He realized that these humans were not simply creatures of instinct, but beings who had trained and evolved to meet any challenge with courage and precision. Even the minor crew members displayed remarkable composure and efficiency. Each movement was purposeful, each decision made with care and foresight. The Xyrillians, despite their advanced technology, felt vulnerable. They had underestimated humanity, and now the consequences of that misjudgment were becoming painfully clear. Ellerin took a deep, slow breath, trying to calm his racing mind. He ordered the crew to maintain composure, focus on their procedures, and avoid panic. Every second counted, and a single mistake could alert the human ship to their vulnerability. As the scan continued, the AI's probing grew more sophisticated, adapting to every attempt to block or mislead it. The Xyrillians realized that they were dealing with a level of intelligence and preparation that was unusual even for spacefaring civilizations. Ellerin reflected on the stories his elders had told about humanity, tales of their unpredictability and courage. Now, seeing them firsthand, he understood that humans were terrifying not because of aggression alone, but because they could endure, adapt, and counter threats in ways that were almost unimaginable. The alien crew worked tirelessly, running calculations, analyzing patterns, and preparing contingency plans. The sense of tension was overwhelming, but they knew that understanding the human ship was critical. They were witnessing something extraordinary, a glimpse into a species whose strength lay not only in technology, but in willpower, adaptability, and an unyielding instinct for survival. Each fragment of data reinforced the growing realization among the Xyrillians that humanity was a force unlike any they had faced before. Ellerin sat back in his command chair, his many eyes reflecting the data streams and the flickering lights of the distant stars. The warship continued to approach, its presence a silent challenge. The Xyrillians felt the weight of this encounter pressing upon them, a mixture of fear, awe, and an urgent need to understand. In that quiet moment, the realization settled in. They were not just scanning a human ship. They were encountering the embodiment of a species forged by adversity, a species whose resilience and ingenuity could not be measured by simple metrics. The encounter marked the beginning of a tense and uncertain journey, one where the Xyrillians would have to confront the unknown, and the humans would continue to reveal the depths of their unpredictable strength and determination. The deeper scans of the human warship revealed details that left the Xyrillian crew in silent fear. Every system on the human ship was built with care and redundancy. Captain Jason Hale sat at the helm, his mind working like a well-oiled machine, always anticipating what could go wrong and planning for it. The Xyrillians were surprised to see signs of neural enhancements in his brain, something their science had thought impossible. The ship's internal layout showed layers of automated systems ready to respond to danger. Small drones moved quietly, performing maintenance and checks that ensured nothing could go wrong without immediate correction. The containment bay was particularly worrying. Tiny antimatter projectors rested in secure units, and if activated, they could destroy entire fleets. The Xyrillian technicians realized that these humans were prepared for threats far beyond what they had imagined. They had turned ordinary technology into a weapon of precision and survival. The AI on the human ship was another point of concern. It had awakened during the scan and began probing the Xyrillian systems. Each move the aliens made was anticipated and countered by the AI's calculated responses. Captain Ellerin and his crew watched the display, their eyes wide with apprehension. Analyst Vorn worked tirelessly to predict the AI's next action but found it almost impossible. Every attempt to disconnect or mislead it failed, and the AI adapted in real time. The Xyrillians were witnessing intelligence combined with adaptability on a level they had never experienced. The humans had faced countless wars and disasters on their planet, which had forced them to evolve both mentally and physically. Their ship reflected that evolution. Every crew member operated efficiently, communicating without unnecessary words, and completing tasks with precision. The AI worked as part of the team, complementing human decision-making. The aliens began to understand that humanity's strength was not just in weapons, but in coordination and resilience. Lieutenant Marissa Hale moved with a quiet confidence. She directed small teams of drones and crew members, responding instantly to minor issues before they became problems. Her calm under pressure impressed even the Xyrillians, observing her from afar. Commander Brian Cole managed the human crew with authority and foresight. Every decision he made seemed to anticipate both danger and opportunity. The Xyrillians noted that these humans did not panic, even when confronted with unknown scans and potential threats. Their ship's energy shield subtly adjusted, seemingly aware of the probing Xyrillian sensors. The aliens felt a mix of fear and awe. They had never faced a species that could read and respond to their actions so quickly. Captain Ellerin considered the implications. Humans were not aggressive without reason, but they were ready for anything. Their ship and crew demonstrated a level of preparedness that seemed almost unnatural. The AI continued its work, learning patterns and analyzing the Xyrillian ship. It communicated with the human crew in a silent network, and small commands were executed before anyone else could notice. The aliens struggled to keep up. Even the smallest detail on the human ship had a purpose. Energy distribution, weapon readiness, and internal communications were all managed with care. The Xyrillians realized that any attempt at confrontation could be disastrous. They were facing a civilization that had perfected survival. Captain Jason Hale noticed the scanning interruption and calmly accessed the protocols for defensive AI routines. The AI was activated in a controlled manner, not to attack, but to observe and protect. The human crew moved with confidence, never showing panic. Their actions were deliberate and precise. The Xyrillians, on the other hand, felt every heartbeat as tension mounted. The human ship had the ability to respond to threats that had not even occurred yet. Every countermeasure and defense system was ready to deploy at a moment's notice. It was a level of preparedness that the Xyrillians had never seen. Analyst Voran tried to explain to his fellow crew members that these humans had evolved in harsh conditions, constantly forced to adapt. Their planet had made them resilient, clever, and unafraid of danger. The human warship reflected that survival instinct in every circuit, every movement, every calculated decision. Captain Ellerin watched the human crew move with calm determination. The fear in the room was palpable. They had underestimated a species that combined intelligence, adaptability, and courage in a way that made them unpredictable. The Xyrillians knew that even the smallest mistake could trigger a reaction they could not control. As the scan continued, more details emerged. The ship's propulsion system could execute maneuvers with incredible precision. Energy shields could absorb impacts that would cripple most vessels. Automated defense drones could respond instantly to threats. The aliens realized that they were looking at a warship built not just for combat, but for enduring the impossible. Lieutenant Marissa Hale coordinated with her crew, ensuring that everything was running smoothly. Commander Brian Cole monitored all systems ready to intervene if necessary. Captain Hale oversaw the entire operation, calm and collected. The Xyrillians could not help but admire the efficiency and unity of the human team. The AI continued to study their systems, adapting to every attempt to block its sensors. Each probe revealed more about the humans' resilience. The aliens felt a strange mixture of respect and fear. They had never encountered beings so prepared, so precise, and yet so calm. Captain Ellerin realized that their best chance was to maintain composure and avoid triggering any defensive response from the human ship. Retreat was an option, but they also needed to learn more about this species. The Xyrillians worked tirelessly analyzing data, trying to understand the ship's systems and preparing for any possible outcome. Every moment spent observing the humans increased their awareness of the species' unpredictable strength. They realized that humanity's power lay not just in weapons or technology, but in their ability to anticipate, adapt, and endure. Every fragment of data confirmed that the humans were exceptional. The AI, the crew, and the ship were all parts of a well-integrated system designed to survive and respond to any threat. The Xyrillians felt the weight of this knowledge pressing down upon them. They were facing a species unlike any they had met before, a species whose abilities could not be measured by simple metrics. Captain Ellerin leaned back in his chair, his multiple eyes reflecting the data streams and the glowing display of the human warship. The fear, awe, and fascination were overwhelming. The deeper scans had revealed more than technology. They had revealed the heart and mind of a species forged by adversity. The Xyrillians understood that they were encountering beings who would face danger with courage, would adapt without hesitation, and who could survive the impossible. Every moment on the scanners revealed more about humanity's strength, making the aliens realize that the human warship was more than a vessel. It was a symbol of the human ability to endure, adapt, and survive in a universe full of unknown dangers. The Xyrillians were left to wonder what other surprises the humans held, and how they would respond to the challenges that lay ahead. The Xyrillian crew felt the pressure growing as the human warship moved closer. Captain Ellerin ordered all systems to defensive mode, and the crew followed quickly, adjusting shields, weapons, and communication protocols. Analyst Vorn monitored the AI activity on the human ship, which seemed to anticipate every move the Xyrillians made. The AI was learning, adapting, and responding faster than any Xyrillian program could. The aliens realized that their attempts to hide or mislead the AI were useless. Every action was mirrored and countered. Navigator Lyra plotted possible escape routes, but the human ship adjusted its trajectory in subtle ways, as if it could sense the alien movements before they happened. The Xyrillians began to feel a sense of helplessness. They were facing beings who expected danger at every turn, who had systems and instincts built to survive and respond immediately. Captain Ellerin reflected on what he knew about humanity. They had evolved on a planet filled with challenges, wars, and disasters. Their ability to endure had been honed over centuries, making them unpredictable and highly capable. Lieutenant Marissa Hale and Commander Brian Cole moved through their ship, coordinating the crew and AI with quiet confidence. Each small adjustment they made ensured the ship remained secure, prepared, and ready to respond to any threat. The Xyrillians could see that even minor crew members had roles that were crucial and executed with precision. Fear spread among the aliens as they realized the humans were not just reacting. They were controlling the situation. Captain Jason Hale, of the human warship, observed the situation calmly. His neural enhancements allowed him to process data quickly, and the AI provided instant feedback. He did not panic, and his decisions reflected careful consideration rather than impulsive reaction. The Xyrillians noticed the contrast. Their own crew felt tension and uncertainty, while the human crew acted with calm efficiency. Each maneuver, each adjustment of systems, and each movement of personnel showed a high level of coordination. The AI continued to monitor the Xyrillians, learning patterns and predicting potential actions. Every time the aliens attempted a minor change in tactics, the AI responded in milliseconds. The humans had created a system where intelligence and adaptability worked together seamlessly, making them almost impossible to surprise. Captain Ellerin realized that fleeing might be their safest option, but his curiosity and need to understand this species kept him focused. He knew they had to study these humans and learn what made them so resilient. The Xyrillians began to record and analyze everything the human ship did, noting the efficiency of systems, the readiness of defense measures, and the calm precision of the crew. The humans were not aggressive, yet they were prepared for any possible threat. Analyst Vorin continued to track AI responses, noting how the human systems adjusted energy shields and defensive protocols. Each adjustment was calculated and almost instinctive, demonstrating how humans combine technology with quick thinking. Captain Ellerin felt a mix of fear and admiration. The humans were a species of contrasts, peaceful yet ready for war, calm yet aware of danger, ordinary yet capable of extraordinary adaptation. He considered the possibility that any confrontation could be disastrous. The Xyrillian crew debated strategies quietly, weighing the risks of continued observation against the need to learn from these beings. Every discussion was influenced by the awareness that they were observing a species that had faced far greater dangers than themselves and had survived through intelligence and preparation. Lieutenant Marissa Hale moved through the corridors of the human ship, checking systems and communicating with small teams to ensure everything was running smoothly. Commander Brian Cole oversaw the operations, making adjustments and maintaining the efficiency of the crew. Captain Hale managed all, keeping calm under pressure, coordinating with the AI. and ensuring that the ship remained ready for any situation. The Xyrillians could see the difference between the humans' coordinated efforts and their own frantic adjustments. Fear mixed with fascination as they realized the humans' capabilities. Every detail, from energy distribution to system maintenance, had been designed to maximize efficiency and survival. The AI continued to adapt, learning from the Xyrillians' attempts to block and mislead it. Every probe and every signal was countered, demonstrating intelligence, flexibility, and readiness. Captain Ellerin felt the weight of this encounter. The humans were not just dangerous because of their weapons. They were formidable because they had learned to survive and adapt. Their resilience was evident in every action and decision. The Xyrillians worked tirelessly to understand the patterns and logic of the human ship. Every calculation and observation revealed the depth of human preparation. Analyst Voron noted that the humans had created a system where crew, technology, and AI worked together seamlessly. No single element was wasted or unnecessary. The aliens were in awe of the level of integration and preparedness. Captain Ellerin realized that humans expected threats at every moment, and this expectation shaped their actions and technology. Their society had trained them to anticipate danger and act with efficiency. The Xyrillians could see this in the calm, precise movements of the human crew. The warship adjusted shields, weapons, and propulsion subtly, demonstrating awareness without overt aggression. The AI continued to probe, analyze, and adapt. It was clear that the humans had prepared for situations they might never encounter, but were ready to respond regardless. Captain Jason Hale observed the Xyrillians calmly, aware of their scan and defensive maneuvers. He did not panic, trusting the AI and the crew to handle any unexpected developments. The Xyrillians could only watch, feeling their fear grow as they recognized the humans' ability to remain calm while controlling the situation. The human ship demonstrated efficiency, adaptability, and intelligence, making every alien attempt to act seem slow or uncertain in comparison. Captain Ellerin considered the long-term implications. Humans were a species forged by adversity, and their ship reflected that strength. Any attempt at confrontation could result in severe consequences. The Xyrillians realized that observing humanity was not enough. Understanding them would be necessary for survival. The AI continued its silent work, adapting to new information and adjusting the human ship's systems in real time. Every probe of the Xyrillian ship was met with a precise, efficient response. Analyst Voron and Navigator Lyra worked to maintain control, studying the AI's responses and learning what they could from this remarkable species. Captain Ellerin leaned back, aware that humanity's strength lay in preparation, adaptability, and the ability to endure and overcome challenges. The Xyrillians faced a species that had been shaped by danger and had learned to respond with intelligence, precision, and courage. Each observation reinforced the realization that humans were unlike any species they had encountered. Their calm efficiency and coordinated systems made them unpredictable and formidable. Every action by the humans revealed a depth of strategy and awareness that the Xyrillians could not easily match. The encounter was no longer just an observation. It was a lesson in the power of preparation and resilience. The human warship moved with confidence, its crew coordinated and ready, while the Xyrillians observed, fearful, fascinated, and increasingly aware of the extraordinary capabilities of a species that could endure, adapt, and respond to any challenge with precision and calm. The tension aboard the Xyrillian ship was thick, and Captain Ellerin felt a weight he had never experienced before. The human warship moved steadily, its systems humming with efficiency, and its crew operating with calm precision. Every detail of the ship showed that it was prepared for any situation, yet it gave no sign of aggression. The Xyrillians had received the first communication from the humans, and the simple words were full of clarity and control. Captain Jason Hale explained that the scan had triggered standard defensive protocols, and that they had no intention of attacking. The aliens studied the message carefully. They realized that the humans were aware of the scan and were responding in a measured way, not with hostility, but with readiness. Lieutenant Marissa Hale stood nearby, observing the response and ensuring her crew maintained calm. She understood that the aliens would read not just the words, but the intent behind them. And she made sure the tone remained clear and non-threatening. Captain Ellerin called his officers together to discuss the situation. The fear that had gripped the crew was still present, but there was now a sense of curiosity. These humans were not aggressive, yet they were powerful and precise. The aliens had misjudged them, assuming unpredictability meant hostility. Analyst Vorn worked quickly to translate the nuances of the human communication. Each phrase, each sentence, was carefully constructed to show intent without causing fear. The humans were communicating their strength through calm, not through threat. Navigator Lyra plotted possible movements for both ships. Observing how the humans adjusted their trajectory slightly, always keeping distance but never appearing evasive or defensive in a way that could be misread, the aliens began to see that humans were exceptional at managing perception and reality at the same time. Captain Hale monitored the Xyrillian response and noticed their hesitation. He understood that the aliens were still afraid, yet he did not rush them. The human crew continued routine checks, moving calmly through the corridors, ensuring that all systems remained ready. Commander Brian Cole oversaw the internal operations with quiet authority. Every small decision was part of a larger plan, and the aliens could see that the humans worked as a single, coordinated entity. Captain Ellerin realized that humanity's power did not come from aggression, but from preparation. Their readiness was a shield and a statement of control. The Xyrillians had underestimated a species that could act decisively without panic, which was far more dangerous than sheer aggression. Messages between the two ships continued slowly, each side testing the waters. The humans remained clear, direct, and unthreatening. They demonstrated that their strength was measured and controlled. The Xyrillians began to understand that the humans' reputation for ruthlessness came from experience and survival instinct, not from a desire to dominate others. The human crew continued to adjust and monitor systems. AI units moved silently, coordinating with crew members to anticipate problems before they occurred. Every adjustment was purposeful, every action precise. The aliens watched and noted how the humans could remain calm while maintaining a constant state of readiness. Captain Ellerin reflected on his own assumptions. He had expected unpredictable violence, but found a species whose intelligence and resilience were far beyond what he had imagined. The humans did not strike without reason, but they were capable of responding to threats that had not even been initiated. Lieutenant Marissa Hale communicated with the Xyrillians again, carefully choosing words that reassured them. She emphasized that the humans were not seeking conflict, only ensuring their own safety. The aliens could sense the sincerity in her tone and began to lower their tension slightly. Analyst Voren analyzed the energy patterns of the human ship. Every system was optimized for survival, with redundant checks and adaptive responses. The aliens saw that the humans had created a network where technology, intelligence, and instinct worked together seamlessly. Captain Hale observed the Xyrillians' hesitation and understood that they were still afraid. He sent another message, calmly explaining that humanity had evolved to survive extreme challenges and that they're defensive. Readiness was part of that evolution. The aliens began to appreciate the truth in his words. Their fear shifted to respect as they realized that the humans were a species capable of extraordinary endurance and adaptation. Commander Brian Cole and Lieutenant Marissa Hale continued to coordinate the human crew, ensuring that they appeared calm and confident. Every movement demonstrated control, and the aliens observed that even under scrutiny, humans did not panic. Captain Ellerin knew that the next decisions would be critical. The humans had proven they could respond to threats intelligently and without aggression. The Xyrillians understood that further action could be unnecessary if they chose a careful and measured approach. The two ships remained near each other, observing, learning, and understanding. The humans maintained a presence that was strong, yet non-threatening, demonstrating that their power was not meant to dominate, but to protect. Captain Hale continued to oversee the ship calmly, ready for any situation but not seeking confrontation. The Xyrillians watched and learned, realizing that humans could be allies rather than enemies if approached with respect. Analyst Voren and Navigator Lyra worked to record every action, understanding that this encounter could redefine their approach to humans in the future. The aliens began to see the possibility of communication and cooperation. Captain Ellerin finally realized that the human species was remarkable not because of raw power, but because of their ability to remain composed, prepared, and intelligent under pressure. The humans had turned potential fear into an opportunity to demonstrate resilience and control. The AI on the human ship continued to operate silently, supporting the crew and ensuring that the ship maintained perfect efficiency. The Xyrillians could only observe and learn, amazed at the level of integration and readiness. Captain Hale continued to manage the human crew with calm authority. Every instruction and observation was precise, and the Xyrillians could sense the unity and coordination of the team. They were witnessing a species at its best, responding to challenges without panic and without unnecessary force. As the two ships floated in space, a sense of understanding began to grow. The Xyrians realized that the humans were not a threat to be destroyed, but a species that could be respected and potentially collaborated with. Captain Ellerin felt a cautious hope as he considered the next steps. The humans had shown them that intelligence, preparation, and calm control were far more important than aggression. They had turned fear into learning, and the Xyrillians knew that this encounter would change their view of humanity forever. The human warship remained a symbol of calculated strength and resilience, moving calmly through space, demonstrating that even in the vast unknown, there were beings prepared to face any challenge with courage, intelligence, and unity. The human and Xyrillian ships moved slowly together through the border zone, each side observing the other with cautious respect. Captain Ellerin felt a strange mix of relief and awe as he watched the humans operate with calm precision. They were not only prepared for danger, but were also willing to communicate and cooperate. The human crew continued to adjust their systems, coordinating with each other and the AI, which ran silently in the background. Lieutenant Marissa Hale and Analyst Lyra worked on the communication interface, exchanging cultural and technical information between the two ships. The process was slow but steady, and both crews learned more about each other with every message and shared data packet. Captain Hale oversaw the exchange, ensuring that the humans remained calm and collected while encouraging cooperation. He understood that these aliens had never encountered a species like humanity before, and that patience would be key to building trust. Commander Brian Cole moved among the human crew, checking systems and assisting where needed, showing the Xyrillians the efficiency and unity of their team. The Xyrillian crew gradually began to relax. Fear was still present, but admiration grew as they realized the humans were not a threat, but a species capable of incredible resilience and intelligence. Captain Ellerin considered the long-term implications. Humanity had shown that preparedness, adaptability, and calm decision-making were far more important than aggression. He understood that the humans could be powerful allies if approached with respect and understanding. The two ships moved together, scanning the border zone for potential dangers. The humans offered guidance and shared defensive protocols, showing the Xyrillians how to manage threats with precision. Analyst Vorin and Navigator Lyra recorded the techniques. Realizing that they were witnessing a level of strategic thinking and preparedness unlike anything they had seen before, Lieutenant Marissa Hale communicated with the Xyrillian officers, explaining simple principles of human ship operations and survival strategy. Her calm, clear voice reassured the aliens and demonstrated the patience and discipline of her species. Captain Ellerin responded carefully, asking questions and seeking clarification. The humans answered each query with patience, never showing frustration or condescension. Every interaction built trust, and the Xyrillians began to see humans as beings who could be allies rather than threats. Captain Hale guided his ship to a safe distance while still maintaining a presence alongside the Xyrillian vessel. The aliens noticed that the humans were teaching them without exerting dominance or intimidation. Commander Brian Cole and Lieutenant Marissa Hale ensured the humans' movements remained efficient, coordinated, and non-threatening. Every action was purposeful, and the Xyrillians observed with growing respect. The AI continued to operate silently, assisting the humans and subtly adjusting systems to optimize communication and safety. The Xerillians realized that this combination of intelligence, coordination, and adaptability made humans an incredibly strong species, capable of surviving in even the harshest conditions. Captain Ellerin began to appreciate the lessons being offered. Humanity had transformed fear into learning, showing that strength came from preparation and cooperation rather than aggression. The Xerillians slowly began to mirror the humans' disciplined approach, adjusting their own systems and responses to align with the guidance they were receiving. The border zone, once a place of uncertainty and danger, became a space of shared observation and cooperation. Both species were learning to understand each other and navigate challenges together. Captain Hale encouraged his crew to continue the exchange, emphasizing the importance of patience and clear communication. Marissa Hale worked alongside the Xerillian officers, explaining human strategies and demonstrating key procedures that had kept humanity safe in countless dangerous situations. Analyst Vorin noted that every shared piece of information increased the aliens' confidence and reduced fear. The Xerians began to see humanity's power in a new light. It was not only in their weapons or AI, but in their ability to work together calmly and effectively under pressure. Commander Brian Cole continued to monitor internal operations, ensuring the human crew remained composed while setting an example for the aliens. Captain Ellerin began to formulate new strategies for future interactions. He understood that fear alone could not dictate their decisions, and that humanity's strength could be harnessed for mutual benefit. The Xerillians started to see the potential for alliance rather than conflict. The humans demonstrated defensive maneuvers, system optimization, and strategic thinking, all while maintaining a calm demeanor. The Xerillians observed and learned. Understanding that humans were exceptional in their ability to combine intelligence, resilience, and cooperation. Captain Hale's calm and measured approach continued to guide the interaction. The aliens recognized that humans valued preparedness and cooperation above all else. The AI remained a silent but powerful presence, supporting the crew and demonstrating the efficiency of human systems. Lieutenant Marissa Hale continued to communicate directly with the Xerians, guiding them step by step through procedures and strategies. Her patience and clear instructions reassured the aliens and encouraged collaboration. Captain Ellerin felt a sense of optimism he had never expected. Humanity had shown them that fear could be replaced with trust, and that cooperation was possible even between very different species. The two ships moved through the border zone side by side, a symbol of a new understanding and the beginning of a fragile but promising alliance. Analyst Vorin and Navigator Lyra worked together to document the process, capturing the lessons of patience, preparation, and calm decision-making. The Xerillians had never experienced such clarity in strategy or such calm efficiency under pressure. Captain Hale guided his crew, maintaining coordination and composure, showing the Xerillians that strength came from intelligence and unity. Commander Brian Cole and Lieutenant Marissa Hale continued their work, demonstrating the value of teamwork and careful observation. The Xerillians gradually embraced the lessons being shared, learning to respect humanity's capabilities and intentions. As the ships traveled together, Captain Ellerin realized that humanity's terrifying resilience could be a powerful ally rather than a looming threat. The humans had shown them that strength came not from aggression, but from the ability to endure, adapt, and act with precision under pressure. The border zone was no longer a place of tension and fear, but of learning and cautious trust. Both crews continued to exchange information and culture, building the foundation for a relationship that might one day lead to cooperation, mutual protection, and understanding. The human and Xerillian ships moved forward together, navigating the unknown, a symbol of what could be achieved when courage, intelligence, and patience were combined.